All right, so we're here to do the time-lapse scenario now. We've decided what we're gonna do. We're gonna color a page from a coloring book. I have my camera, I have my tripod, I have my 18 to 55 kit lens here, and something I didn't mention before, but something that you wanna keep in mind, especially for something like this, because our hands will be moving, is to turn off your autofocus. Using a manual focus mode is gonna be more consistent, and because the action is in one place, I don't have to worry about that changing. Now in a landscape, you definitely wanna turn off autofocus. You wanna pick a focus and stick with it based on your test photo, and that'll just keep it less jerky. Sometimes your camera will try to autofocus in between shots. It'll find the same focus, but sometimes you might see it change a little bit, and that's distracting and doesn't look as nice. So we've picked a thing. It's a controlled environment. It's very short. So I'm going to do my own exposure here, which I've already set. I'm going to take a test shot. Great, we're at 200 ISO, we're shooting in an f4, and I have a 1/75th of a second because I want to have a little bit of that motion blur. It's not intense, not crazy, just the very slightest of catching our hands move and stuff like that. Now I know that we want to create a video for you guys that you can watch for 10 seconds. Now, remember our math from before, we got to decide how many photos we're going to need to take and for how long are we going to be shooting. So 10 seconds means we're going to be shooting at 30 frames per second. That's the standard for video, remember? So that means we need to take 30 seconds for every second of video that we play. 10 times 30 is 300 photos. So we're going to be taking 300 photos for this specific 10-second video. Now I know that this action happens pretty quick, and so I don't think we need to wait between photos because this action is going to happen very fast. So I know from our list and from my experience that we're going to be needing to take a photo every second. We need 300 photos. That means we're going to be shooting for 300 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and divide that by 60 seconds because we know that's how long a minute is, because we want to know how long we need to shoot to create 300 photos at a second a photo, and that is 5 minutes. Now, Phil and I probably won't be able to finish this entire thing in 5 minutes, but that's the minimum I need to shoot to create a 10-second video. I need to shoot 5 minutes. It'll allow me to shoot 300 photos over 300 seconds that I can apply at 30 frames per second to a 10-second video. And it's a lot of math, and you can see all the numbers up here. I'm like calculating like crazy, but that's the simplest kind of structure that you can do. Now, this takes a lot of practice. You got to keep practicing and trying it. We're using math. This is like real math photography. Now let's set up our camera. I'm lucky because my camera has an internal velometer, which is actually something I was looking at when buying a camera because I don't want to have another piece of equipment. So for my camera, we're going to go into menu, and we're going to go up to the camera setting, the shooting setting, and we're going to slide over to interval timer shooting. We're going to click on that, and you can see here on the left, it has interval. Now again, that's how often I'm taking a photo. Am I taking it every hour? Am I taking it every 2 minutes? Am I taking it 5 minutes? Am I taking it every 1 minute and 5 seconds? It's up to you. It's totally customizable. But we know that I'm going to take a photo every second. We're going to take one photo every second. Now, number of times, that's going to ask, how many times are we going to do this interval? Now, if I was taking it, you know, if I didn't want my camera to be up all night and I knew I wanted to shut down at a certain time and I only needed a specific number of photos, you can pick. I can go and select 300 photos, and it'll stop at 300 photos. I'm not a big fan of that. I just put it at infinity because I can just use my timer and I can turn it off when I'm done. Now, it's up to you. It depends on what your situation is. You got to make sure you have enough card space, and you got to make sure you have enough battery space, or you got to plug your camera into a wall if you're going to be doing it long enough. So keep in mind that you're limited to what your SD card or what your card says, however many photos you can take, and the battery. I'm going to go ahead and select infinity because we can stop it when we're ready. I hit OK. It takes me to the next menu, and this is start and wait time. The cool thing about this is I can set this up and I can wait till some action actually happens. I know that it's going to happen in an hour, so I'll just set it up and I'll walk away and I'll leave my camera alone. It's going to have to be plugged into a wall at that point, and your camera will actually count down till it starts going. Now, because this is happening this very second, I'm going to put that it's going to happen in 0 minutes, which means it'll start as soon as I hit OK, and we're going to go ahead and do that. Are you ready, Phil?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. I'm going to hit OK. Now my camera took a photo. It's taking a photo every second. You can probably hear that. Now we're going to go ahead and start. Phil and I got way into this, and we just went ahead and went way past our 5-minute mark. Again, it was just a minimum. We actually shot for just a little under 12 minutes. It looks like we shot, let's see, I know we started with 1200, so that means we shot a little over 600.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's about right.
Oh, this is gonna look cool.
Yeah, so if we hit play just on my camera itself, and we cycle through the videos that we took, and we start here, and I just hold it down, you can see
Oh, that's cool.
the progression. And now this is just like, this is just like reviewing photos on the back of your camera, which is like a really quick way to see what you've sort of done. It's not going to be as smooth as it is when Phil gets his hands to it. But yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
All right, so I'm gonna take it off into the computer and see what we can do with it, show you how you can take your photos, what we do with editing our photos for time lapses, and then how you actually put them together. Now I'm gonna be doing that in Adobe Premiere Pro, which is my video editor of choice, but I'm going to be teaching you it in a way that hopefully you can take your photos and edit them in any video editor. Now, of course, you might have an iPhone or a different camera that can actually put together your photos as a video internally. The iPhone and a lot of other smartphones have a time-lapse feature, so that could be cool too, but with these photos, since they're such high quality, we're gonna be taking them into post first and putting it together ourselves, which also means that we can actually speed up or even slow down a little bit how long our time lapses are. So if we need to cut this down from 20-30 seconds, which it might be, we can actually cut it down even shorter. So let's do it.
Cool.